prepared for battle.
One box could leave you messed up and fractured. Block these uppercuts, they may leave you captured. May the best fighter win and win again. Battle to the top until his life ends. But if his life ends and he starts to decay, may one of his street soldiers avenge things.
See you talking to the game, couldn't be talking to me. I got enough to beat and more soldiers to bury. You know it just clicked in and made you realize this game is twice as hard. You see that with your own eyes.
You're on the way to choose your type of life, cause you gotta. I tell you from now, which fighter will be the hotter. I don't think you want this one, just practice. Just challenge me when you're ready with your tactics. High punch, the spin kicks, watch your back split. I see you in the air when I make you back flip.
Get it on down. Select to make your first pick. Get it on down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Get it on down. Choose and pick the best one. Get it on down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it on down. Select to make your first pick. Get it on down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Get it on down. Choose and pick the best one. Get it on down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it on down. Select to make your first pick. Get it on down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Get it on down. Choose and pick the best one. Get it on down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it on down. Select to make your first pick. Get it on down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Get it on down. Choose and pick the best one. Get it on down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
One box could leave you messed up and fractured. Block these uppercuts, they may leave you captured. May the best fighter win and win again. Battle to the top until his life ends. But if his life ends and he starts to decay, may one of his street soldiers avenge things.
See you talking to the game, couldn't be talking to me. I got enough to beat and more soldiers to bury. You know it just clicked in and made you realize this game is twice as hard. You see that with your own eyes.
You're on the way to choose your type of life, cause you gotta. I tell you from now, which fighter will be the hotter. I don't think you want this one, just practice. Just challenge me when you're ready with your tactics. High punch, the spin kicks, watch your back split. I see you in the air when I make you back flip.
Get it on down. Select to make your first pick. Get it on down.
Hey, what is up, Internet? It is the Gaming Academy Headmaster, GQ Asian Dude, and welcome back to Gaming Academy, where this week we're not doing a regular show. We're doing the study hall. And if you guys haven't been here yet, this is where the lesson plan is loose, the continues are unlimited, and the faculty gets to learn the old school way by getting jumped by 15 dudes named Bread, 2P, and Dory. So if you get that joke, you're as old as I am. So awesome. This week, the crew is playing the Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle, a collection of 7 classic Capcom arcade brawlers: Final Fight, Captain Commando, The King of Dragons, Knights of the Round, Warriors of Fate, Armored Warriors, and Battle Circuit. Now, the collection also includes local and online multiplayer, adjustable settings, and a gallery archive material. So if you're a Capcom fan, this is something that you need to get. And if you're an old arcade head like me and the guys here on the show, please check it out. But with that said, let's introduce your faculty select for today, and let's, of course, let them in the studio. Oh, where they at? Where they at? There we go.
There we go.
Hey, you guys, where were you guys?
I was like, hold on.
Hiding.
Someone was missing.
All good. Well, welcome, gents. Oh, there we go. We're doing this again. There you go. All right, I gotta do some water. Y'all introduce who yourself, what you do, and what we have planned for tonight.
Tonight we are going to have some fun, folks. So allow me to let me take a moment to reintroduce myself. I am your professor of applied sciences here at the Academy. I go by the name Blazing Ace Nelson. Much like my cohorts here on the show, I am what could best be described as a Gatorade-fueled arcade junkie. I'm all about not only, helping folks learn about execution, but also learn about not just how they can do what they do in a game, but why and why it works. And tonight's going to be no exception. Hopefully, though, I will try and, make sure I don't get too long in the tooth while we're going through what could best be described as legitimate arcade history. You don't want to miss the action coming up, folks.
Awesome. Thank you.
I am the hater of the year, hater in charge, the head hater in charge. I'm Oliver. I have been gaming since I was 4 years old, so I literally this year I clocked my 40th year of serious, dedicated, hardcore gaming, right? And my primary goal here on the podcast is that I get to provide some industry context as someone who did game journalism for some time. I've covered E3, right? I've been there. I've talked to developers straight directly to their face and gotten the real poop, as they used to say back in the day. I also stream, and I help just again help give context to time and history. And one of the fun facts about me is that I actually have a trading card that was issued by Walter Day from Twin Galaxies that covers part of my career and my role as a gaming historian. Here on the show, I am considered the dean of students, where I always have something weird and interesting to say, some kind of weird anecdote, and I say the dumbest shit known to man. There's also a really important disclosure that I need to give to all of you tonight, since we are going to be covering the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle. The thing is this: now I am a member of Capcom Creators, right? So I get to work with Capcom on helping to promote their titles and things like that. Every now and again, as part of being a part of Capcom Creators and getting priority access and things like that, I do receive free games from them from time to time. However, the game that we are playing tonight, or the bundle we are playing tonight, the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle, right? I did not receive from Capcom. I purchased this long before I was in the Capcom Creators Program. I just happened to actually like these because I quite literally cut my teeth on them. But that disclosure is necessary, one, for the sake of transparency, and two, it's because the FTC requires that I reveal to you that connection, right? So that way we can make sure that everyone's on the up and up and you know exactly where I stand on this.
I'm very responsible. Here at the Academy, we're very responsible individual gamers. So,
And
go ahead.
And for the folks that might be confused, that right there is what honest, actual journalism looks and sounds like.
Honest journalism? What are you talking about, Ace? That's
in this economy.
Who'd have thought?
It's like, oh, it's like, no, there you go. Yeah, no, that's what you're supposed to do. I have a connection to Capcom. That's what I get, right? And it's like, I'm in that program because I love Capcom games. That's why when I saw the opportunity to do that, I had to get in there. Capcom has been a huge part of my life. It's massive. I have 2 Capcom tattoos on my fucking arms. It's like, what? Yeah. Like, right? I've got Mega Man on one forearm, and I've got a Nargacuga from Monster Hunter on my other forearm. Like, no, I just like Capcom. They've been there like all my life. So it's a treat and a privilege to get to be able to share this bundle and talk about it with people during our study hall, because most of these games, little itty bitty OBC was playing these games. This is part of my life. You know, This is great.
I think Capcom has impacted all 3 of us here, and I think including Nick also. He just doesn't want to admit it, but Capcom has been in the arcade, in our homes, in our handhelds, and our phones. Capcom has been everywhere, even in art books and so on, in literature. So, well, tonight there's going to be a lot to this. Perfect, because I got a lot of Capcom little quips here. So how about this? Why don't we fire up the the Capcom Beat 'em Up, and as you guys, maybe one of you guys can make a game starting with which one are we going first here, guys? I think we're gonna go Final Fight, the old reliable, right? And I'll introduce. I'll talk a little bit as you're firing that up, and we'll get class in session. Is that fair?
Works for me. Let me go ahead and
on the PS4.
All right. Well, I'm gonna ring the bell. Everybody sit down.
Sit your ass down. Like, oh,
class in session. All right, guys. So while they're doing that tonight, Gaming Academy is going to clock in for some hands-on arcade history with Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle. No deep lecture, no homework packet, just quarter munching chaos, crowd control, elbow drops, the eternal debate. Who gets the floor chicken, right? So I want to ask you guys this, and please type it in chat as we're getting things set up here. What makes beat 'em up such a perfect hangout genre? Now, are these games better as serious score chasing challenges, or they are chaotic couch co-op experiences? Last question is, who is most likely to steal that floor chicken tonight? So put your votes in there in the chat. Happy to see that. And yeah, let's get things going. So who wants to, I guess, be shown on the screen here? Who wants to host?
Let me see if I can get my footage up here for you. I've already got the other source set up here on my extra camera.
Okay, let me get that going for you guys.
One of the things that I wanted to do for a study hall tonight, because this is my second study hall, right? The first one was Monster Hunter Wilds with Ace, and I was thinking about how I wanted to manage the deals this week, and I realized no, let's just keep it focused on topic. So the very particular bundle that we're playing right now is on sale, down from $19.99 to that golden sweet spot that I love. It's available for the PS4 and the PS5 for $9.99.
If I had waited just a couple more days,
yeah. And that's gonna run through to the 7th. So I think next Thursday, not this coming Thursday, the next Thursday. It's like, oh yeah, okay, right?
Yeah,
so
next
great.
Thursday. Meanwhile, oh god, this next Tuesday is going to be absolutely bonkers with a couple of game releases.
Oh yeah, that's
and to help flesh that out. I mean, we're going to see it a little bit, but to give you an idea of the value that you're getting going to pay $9.99, and you're getting literally 8 complete games out of this bundle.
Still cheaper if you were to play it here versus putting all the quarters in back in 1992.
Right?
Man, I'm telling you, you know how they call slot machines one-armed bandits? No, these are joystick thieves, man. They would steal your money so fucking fast.
And only when I got older where I was like, yep, this game was designed to take my money away. Like, I mean, you don't realize that as a kid because you're just like in the zone. You want to fight, the Andores in that pit, and you're like, one hit takes like 30% of your life away, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm so poor, I have no money. But yeah, like one of the things that I remember growing up was like, how far can I get with 1 quarter or 50 cents or just 1 credit, basically. Do you guys have any kind of like interesting? I guess like metrics you want to share if you guys ever done that with which game and with 1 quarter?
My usual 1 credit clears, well, they weren't on Final Fight or anything like that. That's for damn sure. But
yeah, no, they can beat
for me, the way I pretty much measured my arcade time per quarter was actually off X-Men versus Street Fighter. I hit that point where I would go in, I'd pick my team, and on average, I'd get 30 minutes on 1 quarter, and I'd go from character select to taking out Apocalypse.
Wow. So it wasn't a matter if you were going to beat the game. It's a matter how fast you were going to beat the game, is what you were saying. Yep. So, wow. Okay. That's impressive. Awesome.
So it was literally like, that's part of how I came to, that's part of how I came to my measurement for value proposition as a whole. Because, it started with, okay, how many quarters am I spending in an hour?
Quarters per hour. Oof. Yeah, that's a good. I don't like that metric, but it's true. It's true. That's a scary metric for arcade machines back in the day. All right, let's see here. So are we? This is a 2-player game, correct? Right? It's not 3 players, right?
Yeah. Actually, that's a good question. I have no clue if we can actually get like 3 players in here. I know we should be able to at least get 2. So with that said,
yes. What game?
We're on Final Fight right now.
Final Fight. Okay, let's find out. Let me see what I can find out on this end, because I know you can't look at the screen while you have that up. So,
all right. While you guys are doing that, I want to ask another question here about the study hall focus for tonight: the Capcom brawler formula. All right, chat. So, Capcom's beat 'em ups help define the arcade brawler language. Simple controls, big sprites. Love them big sprites. Readable enemies, co-op tension, and stage-by-stage escalation. Now, the bundle gives the crew a chance to compare street-level brawling, fantasy action, martial war epics. I'm looking forward to that one. Mecha combat. What is that section we have, Ace?
Muscles, mechs, and Muso.
Yeah, right. And futuristic weirdness, all under one Capcom umbrella. Now, here's some questions for you for tonight. Why were beat 'em up so dominant in the arcades? What makes a brawler feel fair, even when it is clearly designed to eat quarters? We were just talking about that. Now, also, how important is character variety in this genre? I'm a big fan of character variety myself. And the last question is: does chaos make co-op better, or does it expose who has no discipline? That's a good one.
Mm.
So, all right. Well, guys, fired it up. Talk as you come, as you go. And I can repeat the questions if you like. But chat, go away, fire away.
Heck yeah. As far as like, why I feel like beat 'em ups were so dominant in arcades, it comes down, I think, to just the simplicity of the game and the simplicity of development.
I would have to agree with Ace's take on that. There was a lot going on where the arcade game basically kind of grew to the concept. There was a lot of side scrollers, right? That's really where it was. It's like, well, what were arcade games? Many arcade games scrolled from left to right? Like you can look at the old games like Narc, right? If you recall that, it was things like that. We are always scrolling a screen around in some way, shape, form, or capacity. And I think that is really what we're seeing here was just, okay, if we're going to keep moving the screen, what is another way that we can do that? And I think that's how this really kind of came about. Like, this is a different way to do it. Like, obviously, Capcom was not the only one putting
Is
out
it friendly
brawlers.
fire?
I
There
guess there
was
is.
always friendly fire in Final Fight, but the damage you took was very, very minimal. It was just to troll your friend, I guess.
I guess.
Whoever gets the floor cheeseburger. So, all right, I got some questions here. So, as you guys are playing, please feel free to tell us some stories about Final Fight, and I'll ask these as you guys are going along here. But here, let me kind of introduce everybody to Final Fight.
There we go. The Hagar classic. Oh God! And I immediately get it knocked out of my hands too.
And Final Fight can speak for itself, but basically this was the blueprint, right? Final Fight was the beat 'em up. I'm not gonna say it's the first, but it was definitely one of the most popular ones. If you wanted to play a beat 'em up, you thought of Final Fight. It was actually one of the first games to ever be released on the Super Nintendo as a launch title as well, I believe. So the demand for it was just there. Now, Final Fight is obviously the first stop because it is one of Capcom's most iconic side-scrolling brawlers and represents the street crime arcade fantasy at its peak. That's because it took place in the 80s, and there was a lot of that due to a movie called The Warriors, I believe. So,
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Can you count, suckers?
Right?
Let's see here. So, Cody, Guy, or Hagar. And this is going to go out to the panel and also the chat. First question for Final Fight tonight is: who is the true face of Final Fight? Ooh, I don't want to start a fight.
That's a good
that's so
question.
tough.
It's a good one.
How about this? How do you? Let's do how we think the other guy's going to answer. How do you think I'm going to answer, Ace?
Honestly, I think your answer would probably wind up being Cody.
That's really funny. Because I think that your answer is going to be Hagar. He's literally the mayor. He's the fucking mayor.
Like, he's the guy that shows up in the intro.
And it's interesting because there's a plot here. For the homies that don't know, but no, there's a legit plot to Final Fight, and Guy's the odd man out. He doesn't really have any true connection to this story. Like
you're so right, and I hate that you're right. But
right.
Keep going.
He's just fucking there. He's like, oh, Cody's my friend.
I hate that.
But it's like he's the mayor. This is his city, and Cody, it's the mayor's daughter's being taken because, of course, right? And that's his girlfriend. He actually has a reason to be out there in the streets, right? And Guy's like, I want to beat somebody's ass today. I don't care who. He's like, let's just go. Let's do it.
Yeah, literally in the intro, in the demonstration of this arcade, right? Like when they're showing you the story, like Mike Hagar is getting a phone call, we kidnapped your daughter, right? And then like Cody's like, Jessica's been kidnapped. Guys literally right next to him going, yo, Jessica's been kidnapped. I got you. Let's go.
Right? Cody's the ride or die.
That's a story.
Right, guy's the ride or die there.
He was just the dude. He was just there. He could have easily been like, "Hey, I'm good. I'll bail. See you later." You know, like,
Right? He'd be like, "Damn, that sucks, bro. So I'll see you at 6."
Yeah, he could have hit him with the Zuko. Just that's rough, buddy.
all right.
Like,
So
damn.
next question here for the chat and also for you guys: is Hagar the greatest mayor in video game history?
Oh, you better believe it.
That's biased.
There's no question. Like there is literally a like spoken word ballad written about Hagar that is currently on YouTube right now. And it effectively describes, him. It describes Hagar, as he's fighting through like the first few stages, and literally he gets taken out in stage 3. And it's like, okay, what happens between lives? You see him go to Valhalla. He's talking to Odin, like, dude. Odin's like, brother, would you like to be one of my Iron Harrier? And Hagar's like, no, I'm just a mayor, dude. I gotta go beat people's asses and take back my town.
Man,
and then Odin gets pissed off because he gets refused, and Hagar's like, okay, fine. You know what? I will make my way back to Earth by pile driving you down to the street. So when the screen flashes and everybody gets knocked down, yeah, that's what happened. Hagar is pile driving Odin to come back.
just like that.
Man, this game is brutal. We're getting the dog shit kicked out of us. And we're making progress, but God, it's ugly. It's not pretty.
Oh.
Like I said, it's gonna take orders, right?
They wanted it. They wanted our money, and by God, they managed to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And just so people understand, we are playing the arcade version. Just historically speaking here, just like you said, this came out on the Super Nintendo. It was a very early release because the people wanted it, right? It was such a game. However, that Super Nintendo port is not looked upon favorably. And I did some research before the show, just as an aside. We were just talking about this. So just the brief on it. The Super Nintendo version of this only came with, you could either play as Cody or you could play as Hagar. Guy is not included in the original Super Nintendo release of the game, and it's one player only. Like all the things that made this great aren't. They're just not here. Mm-hmm. However, what ended up happening is that eventually there's going to be Final Fight Guy that releases, right? But it's a really weird re-release of this game. The short take on it is that they swap out Cody and put Guy in it, and you couldn't buy the game. It was exclusive to Blockbuster Video as a rental.
Really?
It was ported straight from Japan, right? And they included, in the instructions, just full English translation, but it was just basically a complete rebuild of this game. Because of that exclusivity, finding that particular version of the game, Final Fight Guy, complete in box, is insane. I just found it for $5,000. And
oh God!
Yeah, it's that difficult to find. It is one of those deep secret, like nobody knows about this. Even if you have it just loose, I think it's about $500.
That definitely went up since the last time I checked. So.
Yeah, we just got laid up.
I think like Blockbuster paid either Capcom or Nintendo to get that published here, right? They fronted the money for that thing. That's why it was exclusive to Blockbuster. I'm not sure on that, but I think that's what I read of how we eventually just got that here in the US. But isn't that crazy? A video rental store, a company was like, "Hey, this game was so popular, we want exclusive rights to rent out this game." Stuff like that was happening way before the 2000s, guys.
Right, when people were complaining about exclusivity, it's like, no, man, that was just stock standard.
Exclusivity.
Yeah. That was cost of doing business, like
basically.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but Sodom's weakness is when you knock him down, you go right above him. He's not programmed to go straight up.
That's super funny.
Yeah, that was my cheese in the arcade as a kid.
Here we go.
Another classic Capcom staple.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not a
Destroying the
Capcom
car.
game if you're not destroying somebody's property.
Right, if you're not fucking up someone's car, do you really care?
Japan. I love his license plate. It's Japan. Can you imagine these two guys? You walk out, you're getting your chocolate at the gas station. These guys are busting up your car. What you gonna do when you walk out?
I
Lighten
mean,
you up.
Like, gentlemen, what are you guys doing?
well, I mean, look.
and that in the Super Nintendo release is censored.
Yep, I was just gonna mention that he actually says "Oh my car" in the Super Nintendo version. So
There was a lot of stuff that they changed, deeply so.
yeah,
The list of changes is just horrifying.
that'd be actually fun trivia. I wasn't prepared to talk about Final Fight a lot in that detail tonight, but hey, that'd be kind of fun to kind of just deep dive into specific games like that. So good ideas. And if you guys have any good ideas, please for sure drop them in our suggestion box in our Discord. That's where we take a look at what you guys want to see. Also just Cody just stabbing Hagar in the face there. So no worries. All right. So we're kind of winding down to towards the end of this playthrough for this feature here. But I have another question: does Final Fight still hit today, or is it more historically important than fun? That's a good question for the panel and the chat.
Personally, if it didn't still hit today, there wouldn't be fan creators like the Herrera brothers and the team over at LNS actually making, customized Final Fight rebuilds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we wouldn't have the Fight Forever project or Final Fight LNS if this was more than just historically, if this wasn't more than just historically important. Right? There is still a lot of fun to be had, with the classics. I mean, if you want something simple where the controls are uncomplicated, you just walk in one direction. You got punch and jump, and whatever combination of that you can put together, you can, turn around and pile drive Andre the Giant. If you want simplicity, you come back to this. No question about it.
That's why they referred it to as the blueprint earlier in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's both. I really do. I think it's both. I think it is both historical in the sense of this is painful to play, but it's our history, right? Like, we are getting worked over. I've forgotten just how much they hated us as children. And then, oh my God.
And then Cody over here getting choked up.
He grabbed the hell out of me. Oh my goodness. Oh no.
This is where they proved that they
worst.
Oh God!
He just grabbed me up and he just ran off. He just took me and you followed.
He stole me.
But one of the things that Capcom does that's super, super interesting is that Capcom creates genres. And if they don't create a genre, there's frequently they end up being the ones who define it. Like, you can't say that they made the first horror game. There were scary games before Resident Evil, but they definitely created a working blueprint, just as you said, of what survival horror is, that everyone else is kind of looking to figure out, okay, how are we going to go? And these guys really laid out the blueprint. Not to mention, this is perfect. This is a perfect time to stop. This is also this game is so influential in the sense that, one, Hagar now shows up in Street Fighter. Sodom showed up in Street Fighter Alpha, right? Mm-hmm. Some of these characters literally transitioned out of the brawling genre and came over to other Capcom titles because they are foundational to part of that company, of the company's identity, right? Like, literally in Street Fighter Alpha, was it 3 that Cody finally showed up?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And he's been in jail. You're like, what the hell happened to him?
So it was It was Street Fighter Alpha, where Guy and Sodam, aka Katana, showed up. In Alpha 2, we got Lawrence, aka Rolento. And then in 3, we get Cody.
There we go.
And then it doesn't stop there. We would eventually get Poison, right?
Yep.
And then who else? There was one more. Birdie Birdie's in Street Fighter 1. Never mind.
Wait, is it
No, we got Abigail. So we got Poison in Street Fighter 4, Abigail in Street Fighter 5, and Hugo, one of the android kids in Street Fighter 3.
Don't forget about Rolento.
Yeah, I just mentioned him in Alpha 2.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
You just called him Lawrence.
And didn't he show up in...
He also showed up
in Ultra?
Yeah,
there you go.
Street Fighter 4. And actually, that was one of the stages that was missing in the Super Nintendo version. That the Lento stage was actually cut, I believe.
Yep.
It was a weird cut. That was a weird one. But I know they had to fit that whole game into one 16-bit cartridge. So
Capcom was doing some black magic with them cartridges. Speaking of Street Fighter Alpha 2.
Right. And did you guys know the whole pausing thing with the loading was just a bug from the sound? That was the reason why it was loading so long. It was somebody had the wrong digit typed in the code for the music. And that was the only reason why I was doing that. And somebody found it years later and was like, "Oh, that's why it was pausing, because this digit was off."
Right.
I thought it was actually loading, but no. I was. Well, so, go ahead. Last statements on Final Fight.
Mm-hmm. It's a classic. I mean, again, Final Fight laid the foundation, and I mean, honestly, Final Fight introduced one of my favorite action characters and heroes in fiction, and he has yet to be surpassed, frankly, not even by Terry.
All right, that's a big one coming from Ace. What about you, Oliver?
For me, Final Fight laid down the foundation of, I have two favorite genres of video game. It used to be RPGs, but my favorites are brawling and roguelikes at this point. From this point forward, anytime there was a beat 'em up game, there was a brawling game, I was playing it, right? This really laid it out from playing Final Fight to playing Streets of Rage to who remembers Batman Returns.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, he throwing people into glass.
Yep, that was one of the selling points of that game.
Right, you're you're interacting with the background. They found ways to continue to expand to River City Ransom, right? To all the way, obviously playing through Double Dragon and every fucking sequel of that. I mean, all the way up until recent, right up into Streets of Rage 4 and playing Absalom, right, and Dragon's Crown. They're always going to have a place in my heart. Because you know what they are? They're adventures to the side. That's what they are. You're going on an adventure, a 99-second adventure, going to the right. And they continue to find new ways to innovate in this space in a genre that people keep thinking is dead. And every time it comes back, every time it's resurrected, it adds something brand new. And they go, no, you can do more in this space. And it always sells well. Right. Yeah. So no, I'm really, really grateful. I love it. But boy, let me tell you this. I don't want to play Final Fight. I just got beat up. It was sad. I feel bad about myself right now.
Well,
they dynamited this.
Hopefully the next one is gonna make more sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because this one is actually why, the name of this game is the name of the company, Captain Commando, Capcom. It's they call it the Team Project Gone Wild. Why? Well, boot it up, but character personality, the arcade absurdity, this is where the bundles start to show off. It's weird.
It's 3-player.
And Capcom's creativity. Now we got ninjas, we got babies in mech suits, mummy aliens, superhero energy, all in one game. So I'm actually going to jump in. You guys start this game off, and I'll join you guys here in a second. But I'm going to ask this question to you guys as I'm going to get ready to jump in here. Is Captain Commando peak Capcom weirdness, or is there more weirder games than Captain Commando?
No, I think this is peak. There's a baby in a mech suit. Come on, what kind of question are we asking?
Right.
Like, is a baby? He's got a pacifier and everything. He's murdering people. It's nuts. And of course, like you said, it's Capcom. Mega Man is not the company's mascot. Well, he wasn't supposed to be. He is now, de facto. But no, Captain Commando is the company's mascot. He didn't take. Nobody likes Captain Commando.
Well, I mean,
no, it's a weird ass game, isn't there?
He didn't catch on as Captain Commando didn't catch on as mascots don't always tend to. But hell, he made a comeback in Marvel vs. Capcom,
right? Because they do a really good job of not abandoning their history. There's always a little Easter egg here or there pointing back in time, going, nope, this is a thing. This is still part of our identity. It's just not what we thought it was, But and I respect it.
I man, yeah, I would say when there I am, cool. There's something cool about Captain Commando, and I wasn't I like what you said. I thought Mega Man was the face of Capcom. He was on every box art when I saw I was a kid. He was the most popular one, but didn't really know about Captain Commando until it hit the Super Nintendo, like the arcade. I just never saw an arcade with a Captain Commando arcade machine, so that was just my experience with that. Now,
what's really interesting is just looking at this. This is a 1991. 1991 release, and you can see there's very strong differences between this and Final Fight, right? It's not nearly as visually polished.
Yeah, the sprites are smaller. Definitely doesn't have as much detail. So, all right, the question is, who is going to be who?
I'm gonna be that fat baby. Beating somebody's ass with this pacifier in my mouth.
The Asian delegation here. So Ninja Commando is.
And I would have stuck with the Mummy because, well, the Cap, but I gotta go with my man. I gotta go with the Captain.
This also has friendly fire. Fantastic.
And we have a dash.
Yeah. Dashing is big.
Now, I feel like in exchange for the larger and seemingly more polished sprites from Final Fight, that was the trade-off for the additional mechanics that were brought in, the dash attacks and such.
I mean, also, my name even on screen is Baby. This feels immediately just in my hand. You know what this reminds me of more? It reminds me of the Turtles games.
Yeah,
you're right.
And also, this particular song that is playing in this stage right now is absolutely, was playing, but it's an iconic Captain Commando theme that was even brought back for, the other crossover games that he appeared in, the Namco Cross Capcom and the Project Cross Zone games.
Oh, you thought baby in a mech was weird? I got Ninja in a mech. You got everything.
Yeah. Can he get in that suit? I didn't even think about that. If I'm already in a mech and then I get in a mech, what happens?
Baby in a mech riding a mech.
It's true.
Mechception.
This guy is
that baby's a genius.
This guy is like one of those road warriors from WrestleMania.
Right?
So tell me more about this project and why it was considered weird. Because that's the thing I'm not familiar with the history of this one as much as I should be.
Right. I'm actually a little
do we have any Captain Commando experts in chat? Now, I'll while we're waiting for those answers to populate, I got a question for the panel here. Also, just in the chat in general, but this one is actually what we've just been talking about. Which character has the best "I picked them because they look cool" energy?
Oh, you see the fucking ninja.
No, the ninja, obviously.
Cool. I mean, he looks pretty cool to me. And you guys
No.
know Skip is basically the mummy that's repalleted.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, these women are very scantily dressed. My God. Whew. If you're gonna catch one, I mean, that if look, how are we gonna die? If I
Back to the
catch you, so I'm gonna
gulag,
live.
no.
Yeah, like
But this is how I'm gonna die. Like, okay, let's do it.
now I don't know if this was a part of the series where they started doing inputs. I don't think this one was part of it yet. It's too early.
No, not this one.
Yeah, a little bit of blood. That's interesting.
Yeah, they had to cut a lot of stuff like that when they were doing those home ports back in the 90s. And that's kind of a topic here. Just getting a fighting game, when you think about it like this, beat 'em up onto a console and having this be acceptable.
Oh yeah, you had a lot of people you had to get this past.
A lot of people at Nintendo that you had to get this kind of stuff past. Like, a lot of people don't know this, but especially we do coming up, just the sheer amount of content that had to be altered back in the day to even fly in this market was extensive. Most people kind of know about, the Mortal Kombat could not have any blood whatsoever, and even whole fatalities were completely altered in some pretty, now considered now egregious ways. But Nintendo was quite literally.
Oh God, we got burnt to death.
Damn.
Same time.
Oh, I'm no longer baby. They did what they needed to do because they were understanding the market at the time, and there were big objections to extensive and gratuitous violence. I would say is really the word you want to look at, And this, this is nothing, right? We just got done talking about Mortal Kombat 10, right? And I'm over here watching a whole man's infected spleen come out. They don't care, right? But this, was a touchy subject, right? And I think that this is one of the reasons that Captain Commando is so silly looking, right? You can't take this shit seriously. You got a ninja, a baby, and a mech, and a fucking mummy, right? It sounds like the beginning of a weird bar joke.
It is definitely the weirdest boy band I've ever seen.
So a mummy, a baby, and a mech, and a ninja walk into a bar. You're like, where are you going with this? You're like, no, I'm just describing the game.
I just love how the mummy has his hat back. Like, they didn't have to do that, but they did.
Oh, yes, they did. They had to be cool with the streets.
Exactly.
He's got cheese on, too. And I'm pretty sure this guy's a Belger.
Yeah, he's a Belger remix.
Yep.
It's kind of wild how we're getting jumped by Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito and Aquaman here. Scuba Steve.
Danny DeVito and some kind of toxic commando.
The like random question we have for this one here, as we're kind of like closing this one off, or we're almost done with this one. But why do you think arcade games got away with being so crazy back in the day? Or like, what do you think what the benefit was of having a crazy looking arcade game back in the day? Ooh, Jay goes with the Violent Storm drop. Good one.
Man. Honestly, I think because it was still that sort of era of edge, because early in mid 90s, this is the MTV era. This is Beavis and Butthead. This is, of course, Combat.
That bitch is huge. Oh my God. See, now we just came off oh no, don't hold the baby like that. Don't do that. See, we went off these, look at these fine ladies, to Marja.
Have you guys ever seen the anime Ushio and Tora?
Yep.
That lady looks like Tora. Just all the hair.
So why did they do stuff like this? I think,
God.
Whoa, what happened over there? Why did you?
Oh, that's right. Every time you take someone out with Mac, the enemies literally like mummify.
They get do they?
Because I know get embalmed.
Because I know with Ginzo, the ninja guy, you can actually slice somebody in half, which is pretty cool.
So I think one of the things that they were doing here was just they were figuring out what they could get away with. There were so few rules at this point. The ESRB doesn't exist yet.
Correct.
Right? No one is telling you what you can or can't put in, except the vendors, right? The people actually stocking and running the arcades are going, yeah, I'm not putting that up. I don't want to deal with that problem, right? But this was fast and loose rule time, right? There was no set game designs, right? There were people didn't have degrees in making any of this stuff. It was literally, do you know how to program? Yes. Okay, let's do something dumb and let's put a baby in a fucking suit with pants and boots. Let's call that a game. I guess sounds great. Let's do it. Right?
Imagination, I love it.
Right. So when older guys like us talk about games were so much better back in the day, there's multiple things we're talking about. We all know that hit detection and things like this are not nearly as good as they are now. We know that graphically, like the sheer actual amount of hardware behind it, we know that the stuff today is better, but we're talking about more than just some sprites. We're talking about more than
just the technology.
More than the technology. We're talking about a mindset, right? Just like how we talk about what's your gamer quotient, there's also the idea of what is your actual design quotient. What are you doing as a game developer? How are you stretching your imagination and going, what can I do in this space?
Yeah, and also one of the fun things about this era, if you notice the credits chat for any of these games, they used a lot of code, right? For the developers, because they were so afraid of getting just picked up by another studio that they didn't want to reveal who their developers were. So that was kind of a fun thing that we don't really know until later on when we figure out why they were doing that.
Yep, the headhunting between studios was real.
Yeah. That's how you have your SNK versus Capcom rivalry start.
It's like Dan Hibiki. So many younger people don't know. It's like, oh, no, actually, this guy is just he's literally an insult towards this other company. Like, you useless buffoon. You're like, oh, wow, it gets tense.
Yeah.
It gets tense. It gets very ugly.
For those that don't know what he's referring to, it's is a mixture of Rio and Robert from the Art of Fighting SNK game. And they made them basically useless in the Street Fighter games because they were just poking fun of each other the whole time.
Yeah, purposefully. Like Dan Hibiki in Street Fighter 4 is intentionally nerfed, because what did you say? Robert and Rio are basically clones of Ken and Ryu, and it's just started getting messy from there. It's like, hey, stop stealing our shit. We're just going to start mocking you relentlessly. Like, oh, okay. So, what are we switching over to next? Knights of the Round?
We're going to do King of Dragons. So go ahead and finish off Yamato over here, and we'll call it. Oh, wow. That was
graphic.
That was graphic.
You just said fatality.
There you go. All right, yeah. So Captain Commander, I think would be, I would love to see what is that Dotemu remake of these guys, like a different art style. It'd be so fun.
Hear me out, fellas, because I was talking about this a little bit on stream as well. What if the team that did Mad World and Anarchy Reigns managed to get their hands on this? And I don't mean like Platinum Games, but I mean specifically the team that did Mad World and Anarchy Reigns. What if they came in and remade Captain Commander?
Here's what you made me think when you said that. Yeah. I've been wondering this for a long time. Why is it that the 2D brawler has had such a difficult time making the transition to 3D? Right? The last Final Fight game that actually came out was Final Fight Streetwise. Right? And that was that 2010? Or something like that?
Streetwise? Man, I blocked that game out of my memory.
Because it's that bad and we haven't revisited since. Oh no, let me see. No, God, not 2010. I was way off on that. It's 2006. So the last major Final Fight game was 20 years ago. No, yep, it is the final game in the Final Fight series, as well as the only Final Fight game to not be released in Japan. Like what? And of course, bring it up is because it was an attempt to bring that into this 3D space, and there's been it's a weird, hard transition for them, kind of like how Castlevania has a hard time moving over to 2D.
Mhm. No,
It's
I
what
agree with you. I think it's them trying to chase trends and introducing the new market, a new audience to their legacy, beloved titles, right? Like they made Final Fight super edgy of that time, streetwise, right? They didn't have to do that, but they did. But they were catering to the West. They weren't really catering to Japan, you know. So because
Mhm.
that was what was hot in the streets at the time, right? That's what sold, I guess.
Uh-huh.
So kind of it's like I think that's kind of the reason why Dragon's Dogma exists how it is, because they really wanted to speak into the Skyrim audience, right? So Japan has this history of chasing Western trends because we're a bigger market and they want to get into this market, absolutely. And
Mhm.
Capcom has nailed it. Like in the past couple of years, they're in here, and I think it's because of. And I'm going to say this proudly, it's because of us. We grew up and we go, hey, we love these games when we were kids, and we have the money now. So yeah, and we're now telling younger kids to play these games too. We're influencers of these. We led the way for them to experience games like this. So I will take a little bit of credit for that for us, and shows like us and gamers like us as well, because there's a lot of slop out there. I hate using that term, right? But we use our time in our show to tell you about the good games that came out, where they come from, and how they influence the future of gaming. So
Excuse me.
all right. So this one, period 3, guys. We're playing King of Dragons here, and I'll jump here in just a second. Not quite Knights of the Round just yet. We'll do that after the break. But this one is basically, I call it, we have Dungeons and Dragons at home. Is RPG flavor inside an arcade brawler. This game adds fantasy classes like dwarf, the cleric, the fighter, the wizard, right? It's got weapons, monsters, and medieval adventure energy to the brawler structure. Now, this is kind of an interesting question because it's very open ended, and I welcome everyone's input on this. How do you think how do you think the fantasy genre has I guess like affected brawling? Has it made the formula better? Now they can level up, right? Or is it just kind of like it's just another beat 'em up? Like, what do you think? Adding
No, honestly, like I'll just say this flat out. I wouldn't have even thought to look at this game if not for Golden Axe.
Okay.
It's so funny because we were talking about the same thing, and I was saying that Golden Axe has never resonated with me, not once. It does not work. Like in fact, wait, can we just? Oh, okay, there we go. I was like, what the hell? Golden Axe has never resonated with me, and just off stream, we were just talking about the Dungeons and Dragons games that were made by Capcom, right? That basically follow this very formula. So, like, they're like, you can have the real thing, or look, okay, we all know that if you're gonna sit down, you can have a cola, you drink a fucking Coke or a Pepsi. And no, your mom wouldn't bought Dr. Thunder, but she bought both. Right? You're like, that ain't Coke. Right? Yeah. She got the off-brand, store-brand shit. And you're like, okay, but it doesn't actually taste the same, Mom. Like, she's like, it's fine. Leave the Cokes for your dad. You're like, why does he get the good ones? No, that's really what it's like. But King of Dragons always resonated with me. And, here's another just weird little thing. This game, in particular, is very, very faithful in its port to the Super Nintendo. I think the only real thing that's missing is that it's not 3 players. That's it. But other than that, it looks pretty close. It's surprising. They had started to figure themselves out by this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that because like this came out later on, right? And remember like what we talked about with Final Fantasy
Oh, we
12.
all got took out
Like
there.
these
Yeah.
guys become wizards of the hardware the longer the hardware's been out. So
Exactly.
Capcom was doing it, and this just shows you the progression of how much stronger they've gotten as a porting games over here. Right? Now, I got a question for you guys. And of course, the question is opened up to chat. When you saw these games in the arcade, right? Were you like, I can't wait for this to have a home port? Like, were you always thinking that, or you was that never in your mind when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, I never thought such a thing was going to be possible.
Right.
Like imagining some of this stuff, like the very idea of it's like let's use the Back to the Future time machine and go. If you could talk to yourself, would you have believed this shit? Fuck no, right? I'm like, oh, you'd be playing this on your phone, right?
Yeah,
It's a hard thing to conceive of.
yeah, absolutely.
And now, you can run Doom on a pregnancy test. So it's like, don't bet on the wrong thing here because you never know what the future might bring.
Right.
I just imagine a skit where they're like, "All right, man, I beat it on the hardest difficulty, but are we pregnant?" Like,
Like it's a baby.
Level.
You're like, oh, it looks like John Romero's head. Isn't that something? I could not picture any of this stuff. Like I remember when Mortal Kombat came out. Like I know this is the second time I've mentioned it tonight, but the fact that they were able to get Mortal Kombat working at all on a home console was just kind of fucking amazing.
Yeah. What was the dev that was like? I think it was like Sculptured Software. They were like a lot of those home. They were responsible for a lot of home ports for the like the Acclaim game.
Yeah, that's right. It was Sculptured Software.
Yeah, because they always had that cool like lizard. When I say cool, he was wearing sunglasses. Yeah, in the intros of the. All right. Question, King of Dragons question for you, Chad. If anybody's played this, which class feels the most useful in co-op? I will start. Actually, I can tell you who's the least useful. The cleric, because he doesn't heal.
Damn. I just got thrown to the fucking wolves with that one. Like you're useless. Like oh, but here I'll counter with who's the most useful. The elf.
I was gonna say wizard, but I'll take elf is a shooter, yeah, for sure.
The elf is pretty good. I would say it comes down to those two guys, just their sheer range and the fact that the wizard increases the elemental strength of all those spells out there. Like you don't really see it,
yeah,
right? But you do know it's an effect.
Yeah, back stats for sure. What about you, Ace? What's your thought on this?
Honestly, I'd go with the wizard.
Yeah, that's right. He went with the wizard.
Like that, the wizard just does so much in terms of being able to really like clear, like really clearing the crowds with those spells.
Yeah,
like
and I think he had the coolest aesthetic too, in my opinion.
Like between him and the elf, it's like you would have to try hard to get hit.
You would have to purposely get hit. I think one of the issues with the elf, like you can't kill the slimes on the floor. You have to wait for them to jump.
Yeah.
Right. But I also wanted to kind of bring this up to to the chat. It's like, guys, we had King of Dragons, so we can get Dragon's Crown down the road in the future.
That's 100% facts.
Right.
And Dragon's Crown was such a love letter. It's such a love letter to the genre, right? It's a love letter to King of Dragons. It's a love letter to Knights of the Round. It's a love letter to River City Ransom, right? It's a love letter to roguelikes. It combines all of these elements together in a way that you did not anticipate were going to be put together, right? To this day, you can still play that game infinitely, right? And having full stat building and all that stuff, like the good stuff that keeps you attached to a game. And trying to find your own build and being for the loot junkies out there, like, oh no, it's a good time.
No,
right? These games walked so that these other ones could run and become the amazing games that they are today.
And this Hydra was putting us in the dirt for a second.
Yeah, he was fucking us up.
I love like the little trick they're doing here with the art. It's like they just have basically the main body's the background, right? And then they're just doing the heads, 3 different heads.
There's a certain degree of creativity
Yeah,
in this time that just
exactly.
hasn't been brought back up.
Oh, that's so cool. Dwarf. Oh, I noticed, and I remember now, like who got the last hit because they would tell you who killed it. So that was pretty fun as well. Okay, so this one is kind of like, this kind of takes this next question is basically a crossbreed of King of Dragons and also Dragon's Crown. Is leveling up in an arcade game satisfying? Is it just like a mental trick for us to kind of like keep putting quarters in the machine?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's the best way to describe it. Yeah,
My sword.
both.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it is both. Because I mean, the leveling up literally gets you thinking, okay, just one more round, one more quarter, one more level. We can do this.
Yeah.
It gets that sort of it gets you in that sort of mind state where you do want to just keep going to see just how close you can get to the next level or what will change when you level up.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it actually is something that's, it's not only important, but pretty satisfying because you do see the progress that your character makes. You see the changes that come up. Like this wizard is just throwing off shockwaves now instead of just those little rinky-dink fireballs.
Yeah, like I got a new sword.
Exactly.
That's cool, right?
And I have a golden axe.
There you go. Sega coming at you.
And they went, haha. They did one of those numbers. I have a counter question, though.
Sega snuck in the game somehow. So
I have a counter question. Just from the hip. Do you think that we only ended up with these games, these brawling sword and sorcery games, as an expanded idea or concept of Gauntlet?
Ooh. Yeah, you know what? I would say like
Dude, I got shattered.
I'd say ultimately, like this is basically a brawler with like, what if we made a brawler that has a fighter, a wizard, right? To me, I think that's how they did it first, because it was Gauntlet. Like Gauntlet, you couldn't level up; it was about survival if you think about it. And if anything, I would argue it's like one of the first roguelikes, but like it didn't change the stages, but you definitely had to have the speed and the memorization of each stage to optimize your play, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like a reverse. You had to be like, okay, I remember level 5. This is what I do. Level 6, right? Versus like this is different every time. It was a masterful.
But one other thing that, just to go back to the question about leveling up, Ryan did bring up a very good point. Games where you had level up, brawlers where you had level up mechanics like this really do help it stand apart from the ocean of other beat 'em ups that were on the market, both on home consoles and in the arcades at the time. Like we were spoiled for choice, so
correct.
These games had to do something different.
I do feel that like games like this where you level up, it helps. It shows your progress, right? And then progress is you always want to save it, like you could because you invested time into the game, or quarters into the game, right? So. I just like, and this might be because I'm asking too much of it, but like, I kind of wish they kind of added a little bit more. I hate using this term, but like, group synergy with like, because there's like 5 characters you can pick from in this game, right? Like maybe different variations can create different synergies, right, during the time. But of course, like I said, I'm thinking like like it's 2026 versus like what 1995, right? So that's just me. All right. Well, man, check out King of Dragons, guys. If you guys love Dragon's Crown and you want to play the what I call it, the progenitor, right? Of that, check out King of Dragons on the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle. So, all right, let's take a little bit of break here. I'm gonna switch over here to this camera view. But Ace, do you got or Oliver, do you have your deals up for this week? Because I was looking forward to it.
That was my deal
Oh,
for the week.
gotcha.
I did look at it, but we don't even need to switch because I actually do have
Oh,
two
no.
other deals that I thought were really
Yeah.
really good. I'm just pulling them up real quick here. It actually surprised me, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, these are nice." I was like, "People will like to hear about that." So the other deals that I found for this week are, one Mortal Kombat 10, which we just talked about, and this is since we're on PlayStation right now. That's kind of where I wanted to keep it. One of them was Mortal Kombat 10 is now $5, right, and that's going to be to the 7th. On top of that. Where is my one here that I wrote down?
Shao Kahn approves.
Like, sweet. Hey, Lois. uh, like everything I found this week was more or less about $5. I just lost track.
All
of it.
good, all good.
Oh my goodness. Sorry. Oh, there we go. And of course, I want to take the time to point out another amazing game that's kind of related to the very genre at hand. Mad Max for the PS4, right, is $5 and it's a game that kind of follows that free flow combat method, just like Spider-Man and Batman, and now Dennis Disco, right? But it feels like those are the actual evolutions of brawling games, and I've played it. It's great. It's one of the greatest games I've played ever, and at $5 for that one, and then for the final game that I had, let's see. Wait a minute. I think I just lost it. And and then of course, again, for Capcom, we have Ultra Street Fighter 4, which
Speaking of,
the last, which I hope is the last fucking version of Street Fighter 4, right? But that's all the way down at $3.99, down from $25.
Is that the arcade edition?
No, Ultra is the complete
The
Street Fighter
final
4.
one, right?
That's
It's
the last one.
Okay. Guys, that is valuecity.com. I don't know if you guys know. There were 20 characters you had to buy after the initial Street Fighter 4. That's everything. And it's how much again?
$3.99.
$3.99.
Bro, that is less than a Big Mac. That's crazy.
And this bad boy, I mean, when I say hopefully this is the last version of Street Fighter 4, well, there's a reason for that. It's because Street Fighter 4 came out in
2009,
2008. 2008 came out in 2008, and Ultra Street Fighter 4 came out. Let me see. Came out in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah. So they worked on that for years. I mean, that's like 7 years,
sure,
right? Of updates. Like, good God, just keeps going, right? And it's great. I mean, it's great. Street Fighter 4, honest to God, its visuals are just were always striking to me, right? And that paint, right? God, come on, indestructible. I don't need to say anything else. There you go. Right? What a track! It slapped. It
was pretty good. That little intro, the first intro, right? That vanilla intro.
Yes, sir.
Good. That intro went strong, just like Vanilla Sagat, right?
Oh God!
Now, before we load up my favorite game of the evening, I want to share the merch. Of course, we're going to grift a little bit with our own merchandise here.
Mm-hmm. Shill's got a shill. Oh, and by the way,
I know every visual reference. I don't know who she is.
Okay, I'll let you guys. Ace, you want to take a stab at it?
Having a tough time with this one.
Yeah, you guys know I do anime, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Now think
Yeah.
of late 90s. It's kind of obscure in my opinion, but hopefully one of you guys pick it up.
Late 90s.
Came out the same time as Love Hina, but it's not Love Hina. There you go. That's a big hint.
Well, sure the fuck ain't Oh My Goddess.
Right,
Right? If Bell Dandy,
that's
I
a
would
good
get it.
one. That's a good one. Okay. All right, guys. So I'll read. So I did post this on our Instagram page. I've yet to post it on X. I think it's going to be. It's scheduled to come up there after the show. But some teachers assign homework. Anybody take a guess at it yet?
That's.
This might
All
be one
right.
I
Well,
missed.
it's Mizuho Kazumi.
I was about to say that's like I had the name right on the tip of my tongue, but the moment you mentioned teacher, that's like,
Assigned.
yep, that's one guy teacher.
Yep. If you know Please Teacher, you know Mizuho brings that calm, warm, and reassuring energy that the kind that makes everything feel just a little easier. That's exactly the vibe we're designed into the Gamer Quotient hoodie. Soft, relaxed, and effortless. So whether you're grinding late night sessions, chilling between matches, or just existing in your cozy arc, that man, I love that art. This hoodie hits different. It's that stay a little longer kind of comfort, like your favorite episode you keep coming back to. So, rep the mindset, wear the comfort, and ask yourself, what's my gamer quotient? There you go. So,
There was one thing we were missing that kind of threw me off:
mm,
the lack of glasses.
yeah, this was one of the pictures I used. She didn't have glasses. So, that's probably why. Also, I tried to make her hair as natural as red as possible because in anime it's super pink, right?
Yeah.
That was a reach, guys, but yeah, that's always a fun little thing I do for streams. All right. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm ready for King Oliver to lead us to the Holy Grail here.
Let me tell you all what we're about to do. Let me tell you exactly what we are about to do. We're about to ride through the storm with the knights fighting evil and crime.
I love you. That is one of the best shows ever as a kid.
Brother.
Anybody not know what we were talking about just then? Does anybody not know what we were just referencing? Chat. Because I think we're all in agreement. We know what we're talking about in the panel.
That we are old.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, if we're looking for a show to get remade, I'm all in on that. I'm 100% all about that. I don't care if anybody doesn't know what that show is. I'm watching.
It has to happen.
Chat, come on, don't let us down here. There's got to be some old heads out there too. All right. Well, when you guys figure it out, we're about to play.
It would seem that I made a fool of myself.
We're about to play one of the most, I'm not going to say greatest, but most memorable beat 'em ups of all time, in my opinion. This is called the Arthurian Group Project. Medieval style, defense, spacing, character growth. This one gives you a chance, or gives the crew a chance to talk about skill expression and beat 'em ups beyond just button mashing. You couldn't button mash in this game because you will get punished for it. Matter of fact, you had to be a little bit more skillful. And one of the few beat 'em up games that lets you block an attack, just like a fighting game. And I didn't know that until later on in my life as a gamer. That because in the Super Nintendo version, we were spoiled with a block button, but in the arcade, I did not know you can press back at the right moment to parry an attack. I didn't know that until I got older. So, guys, tell me about your experience.
Yeah, it's right there. I'm actually watching him do that. There's a little block there. So this is a 1991 release as well. I think we actually start dropping friendly fire in this one at this point too, because they realize, it makes the game not fun. I honestly, just eyeballing this, is it just me, or does this version look worse than the Super Nintendo version?
So what I noticed in comparing the three, like this game looks prettier than the Super
Hmm.
Nintendo had cleaner, like brighter colors, and this one had a higher pixel count, but it just looked dirtier.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Plus, they got you eating
Yeah,
salad
from a barrel.
Well,
from a barrel of fucking
at least it
salad.
ain't floor
Got
chicken.
nothing.
The salad's actually on a plate.
So I've yet to
And
experience or watch a playthrough of like somebody knowing all the patterns of this game, like just an optimal speed run of it. So that'd be fun to see.
one of the things that makes this such an exciting title to play is that you can tell they've really started to finalize what the brawl design truly is. Right? We've gotten out here, and it's helping us to not hit and get in each other's way nearly as much. It's added a little bit of a competitive element there. As you can see, we're in the middle of
Yep.
leveling. Like Capcom was really going in hard on the medieval stuff at this point in time, between King of Dragons and the Chronicles of Mysteria, and doing the Arthurian legend, which it's all kind of
Yeah.
wacky in the sense that they all have unique identities brawling as brawling games. They could have just reskinned the exact same crap and put it out, but they
Correct.
didn't. They're just all a little mechanically different, and it's really interesting to see that.
It is, and this is one of the. You see how I hit that treasure chest and it's split into three. You can actually share the loot
Yep.
with your teammates in this game, or also the food too. Like you can chop it and it'll split into three, so you can share the XP. Oh, and I don't know if that was like their way of saying this is how you're going to team up in this game in the next level, or maybe like people were arguing over who's getting the food next, so they were like, "Well, we'll help you out by like splitting it up." That's a design choice, right there.
The cooperation aspects are pushed forward further in Knights of the Round compared to other games, right? Where it's like either every man for himself, or you co-op but someone suffers because of friendly fire and so on and so forth. I mean, come on, look at this, you guys. We got fucking King Arthur on a fucking horse. He's just chopping the shit out of people. It's great, right? They really pushed themselves forward more with this one, right? So that really what Capcom was showing, I believe, between these releases that are all coming out at a very similar time, right? Which I think is kind of an important detail. I mean, multiple of these games came out in '91 that we've been playing.
Yeah.
now.
I mean, oh, that was cool. That was so cool. I'm sorry. I died, but then like the way the sword just like fell down from off the screen and they just teleported in, that was stylish.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, this game has a lot of identity. Like I don't think this game gets enough credit. And matter of fact, like technically these three are Capcom characters. I know they're based off like Arthurian lore, but like they recognize these three as unique Capcom characters. Like they show up in a lot of their art and like game design stuff. And like I said, it's like these are knights from history, but yet they took ownership of the character themselves.
And I feel like with this, you could say this is you could say this kind of led to what they did with inspired what they did with Sengoku Basara, because it's the same sort of thing. You take historical or mythical characters and you make them into superheroic versions of themselves.
So here's an example. Oh, what the heck happened there? I guess I'll take it. No, somebody else take it. One hit, I'm gonna die regardless. One apple's not gonna change anything.
That's
One of the coolest bosses in the game, guys. Aside from the samurai that you fight later on, this is like a dual wielder. It's pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of like a Saturday Night Slam Master character, also.
Right?
Bradford.
even notice that his character portrait animates as he gets hit. There's just so many little details that just end up getting put in here in really interesting ways. Like, they were really pushing their hardware differently.
Like, and that's what I mean. Like, games have personality. They didn't have to do that, but they did it, right? And I think that's super important in showing the love and care for like a game, just like this. Let's see here.
Oh, and you'll notice, like Arthur leveled up. Now he's armored.
Yep. Or his armor changed, right?
Yeah.
And I actually leveled up too. My axe changed a little bit. So, and we were just talking about leveling up in games like this, in brawlers, right? We want to put more quarters in. We want to see what he levels up as a 20. What does he look like, right? So it's stuff like that that's like super interesting.
Yep. Oh,
and so Lancelot has this cutlass now, and I remember how they're going to end up looking like towards end game, right? So Arthur is going to be in his golden armor as depicted on the left side of the screen there, and I can't remember what Percival looks like, but I definitely remember like they're going to get dressed, right? They're going to be fitted out as they should be, according to this legend. Like it's again very, very silly, but it's also a way for a player to kind of feel like they're progressing and getting stronger. They could just flat out be lying about it completely, right? It's like, no, you do the same damage regardless, but you
there we go.
feel like, oh, see, look, I just got stacked up, right? Now I'm not running around looking all pretty. I mean, I'm still pretty, but now I've got some armor.
I remember
for that
what happens to Percival when he maxes out. He loses his hair. Sounds very familiar.
Oh no!
Wait a minute. Why am I Percival?
He's like, oh no, he leveled up into male pattern baldness. That's like the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, oh no. It's like, did you get something from it? I'm strong. You're like, oh, okay, all right. I mean, at least if you get something in
strong,
exchange,
but I'm
great.
bald. Oh, he's Saitama.
It's funny that you were just bringing up Sengoku Basara Ace, and I'd never thought about this till now. Like, how cool would it be to have like Knights of the Round come back as a Muso?
Oh,
right, and then with that Basara flavor, you know what I'm saying?
Not just Knights of the Round. No. We need. By the way, Brad caught it in the chat. We need freaking King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Yeah, that is definitely a different topic. I have thoughts of that game, of that show, that game in general. I love that show as a kid.
Just a casual thought. I think one of the most interesting things here is that we're playing the arcade version of Knights of the Round, which is again the Super Nintendo 2 players. You're not beating those allegations ever. But one of the things that they do to help us keep track of who's doing what is, every enemy that we're each engaged with is at the bottom of our, respective not quadrant, but, our column of the screen, right? So Buster F is punching Arthur in the neck or vice versa, and so on and so forth. So, because, that's one of the long-standing problems of the brawling genre. They can get really messy visually.
Oh, no.
There'll be a lot of shit going on. And next thing you know, it's hard to keep track of a lot. Fighting and doing dope ass shit like that. We're dropping nukes in the middle of the screen. Look, and the axe just came down.
And Chad, I don't know if you noticed, the first boss of the game is now just a regular character. That's very Souls-like. I don't know if that was intentional, but progression, right? It's always about progression.
Now he's the tall man.
Yeah, tall man scoring. I guess like for you guys, what do you think? What makes this like just the most different out of most typical brawlers? Right. This to me, this also started doing like the input commands. Like if you do forward and strike, like you have a harder attack, and you also have an up strike with Lancelot and Arthur as well.
I'm doing it right now for people who are curious. I'm doing his up strike. So this is what you were talking about earlier when you were saying, their commands. They eventually start getting to that.
And I think that
we've really started collecting variety. Yeah, right? Like now we're adding technique to this instead of just mashing a button. Like you need to understand what you're dealing with, what opponent you're facing, right? And well, it's kind of like with Final Fight, and you were saying that, Sodom is not coded to go up or down. He has no direct vertical movement, which is kind of an important detail. right? And this, I mean, there's less interactables and things like that, like we just saw in Captain Commando, where, come on, I was a baby, I picked up an Uzi.
Yeah,
I started shooting
I
people.
realized this game does not have items you can pick up and use, like aside from health and treasure, right? That's I never realized that till now. That's
Right, all we've really got is that damn horse, and if you get hit once,
And that's it.
that
there's
horse
no
is gone.
projectiles, there's no like weapons that are dropped by enemies that you can use against them. Yeah, this is purely just like combat with your character and their moveset. That's interesting.
And that's kind of what's I suppose is funny, is that it makes it so different. It makes it so dramatically different from King of Dragons, which we had more interactables. I mean, come on, we were out there casting magic spells, right? And we had 5 different classes and all this other stuff. But this is kind of the point. It's like, oh, Knights of the Round and King of the Dragons. So that sounds like it's just going to be the same. And it's like, no, it's about the focus and what's the main priority.
Yeah, there's a lot of like distinct differences from each game. It's just you have to pay attention. When you call each game, they're just all brawlers. But they're different in every way. Like I would say this is arguably much different than King of Dragons. Like even the way things hit, the way you level up. The items on the screen, all these like small details that really show you the difference between the two games. If you really want to dive deep into it. Arlon. So this is our first king that you fight here. One of the first things that you do is take over this castle to establish a base for the operation. King Arthur and his crew. And this is also where you figure out how Capcom takes all your money.
Yep. So I say it would have been nice if I survived this long. Playing Arthur.
Come on, he's got this big ass area attacks.
I know.
Like,
look at this.
And every hit is just brutal.
That man has got brass knuckles. That's crazy.
He's got a freaking cestus.
I'm not even mad at him. Like I respect the hustle.
Look at him go.
There we go. You're not taking me.
Was this castle like pending built? Like, why is the throne like covered up like that? I never realized.
There'd probably be like a sign written in Old English script sitting on it saying, "Pardon my dust."
They just got done.
They're remodeling. Arlon's castle remodeled, currently being remodeled. Yeah, and remember, like sometimes like that's 50 cents right there. You're done. So, like $3 for stage 3, right?
Oh, look at that.
So
let's make sure Arthur gets his due.
Get him, Arthur versus Arlon.
This damn castle.
Steal his property. Yeah, just do that. Invincible.
Yep.
And that, folks, is what they call a mega crush in all Capcom games. So, look at this cool intro or cutscene. Yes. That's hype. As a kid, that's pretty cool. You're like, this is cool. I did that. So all right. Guys, check out Knights of the Round. This bundle is just keep giving us hits here. So we're gonna jump on to the next one, but go ahead, Ace.
I was about to say the value in this bundle is staggering.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot here. Like this was one of the best bundles, and we'll come back to that here and later on in the show. But show us the next one here, and I'm looking forward to this one as well because we're gonna go back in time.
Oh, this next one is gonna be a trip. Now, when I first played this one, I didn't even clock it as a Capcom game. But we're going to pop in and we're going to fire up Warriors of Fate. Or, as we got it listed here, Dynasty Warriors before Dynasty Warriors?
Yep. That is the best way to explain what this game is, to be honest with you. So, and
now, and to give people an idea of just how much Capcom dominated this genre in this time, the next 3 games that we have to show, I have no experience with. I know very, very little about them just because this is how many brawlers they put out. And this beat 'em up bundle is not exhaustive. Not at all. We'll get to that. Like, not even close. There are still more Capcom brawlers. These are just the ones that they could release easily because it's not tied up in other
Yeah,
people's
they,
IP.
they own these, like, technically, right? So, yeah, the other
Yep.
two came, I think, later on the Capcom's like arcade lifespan, and I was like, I think home consoles were finally catching up to the arcade scene, like, you know, the later Super Nintendo and the early PlayStation, Sega Saturn stuff
Yep.
was coming out, so these started to phase away. But guys, this one is called Warriors of Fate. Dynasty Warriors before Dynasty Warriors is the best way to explain it. This is a war epic energy and crowd clearing satisfaction before Sengoku Basara, before, you know, Sengoku Muso. This is a great bridge for the show because the crew's love for Muso style combat, like Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors. This is, you know, this is where I'm not going to say where it started, but this is one of the first things we got from that, right? Warriors of Fate gives us that one warrior versus an army feeling in arcade form. Now, the names are kind of weird, so but I think is that Sao Sao, right?
These motherfuckers move so fast.
Right? Like, I think from left to right, we're looking at Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, Zhou Yun,
Zhao Yun,
Wang
Wang Zhang,
yeah, Wang
and
Zhang, Wei Yan. So nothing like what they look like in Samurai Warriors at all, but who they are. And plus, props to like the 1980s art stuff. Very cool. So if we
Now, did this ever? Is this localized at all,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this released stateside or
There
not.
is
it did release that.
yeah, it did release stateside. They renamed it a bunch. Like it wasn't called something. It was called something else in the US. But earlier we were talking about inputs and technique. This game went towards that direction. I think there's a down up attack, there's like a back forward attack, a fireball motion, and each character has a different one. And they were strong. They had invincibility frames. Like, this game gave you the tool set to really push that quarter to the next, to the next stage. But to counterbalance that, I was, and I'm inspired by Oliver's was that Saro stream. He was mentioning yesterday. I got all the tools already, and I haven't even started playing the game yet. I'm scared what's happening.
They done handed
Yeah,
me too
yeah,
much. Like, wait a minute, I had to do work
now,
for
the
this.
same thing here. They've given you all the tools, and like I said, input commands, invincibility frames. What does that tell you about what this game's going to deliver to you? So
It's going to deliver violence.
this was a very, very challenging game. I don't have too much experience in playing this because not a lot of arcades had this. My first experience with this was actually through emulator, and I accidentally stumbled upon it because I was just looking for beat 'em up games, right? So, but yeah, it's this, like, you look at it, it's very colorful, it's very clean. This is what Knights of the Round looked like on the Super Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
But do you
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
do you guys feel that this is a spiritual cousin to the Muso games, or do you think this is just a brawler with like a Muso skin to it?
I would say this is very much very much a spiritual cousin, or it's a predecessor, flat out, because there were very few developers that were still actually adapting, Romance of the Three Kingdoms based media at this point.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, very few that were, covering this kind of material, at least in the West or outside of China, if nothing else. So between this and I forget who developed it, but between this and the Sango Fighter games on PC, like, there wasn't much in the mainstream that was dealing with, Three Kingdoms China at the time. And even less that was actually, going more and more towards, battlefield action, towards the battlefield action formula. So now that we've actually got, Warriors of Fate out here, and we've got, I believe it was IGS who was doing some more of these games at the
Mhm.
time.
I remember that. Yep. So I don't
But-
know. My input command. Sorry, go ahead, Ace. Mine's not.
Oh no, you were going to mention your input command. What's going on?
It's a flash kick. Sonic
Okay.
boom.
That's dope.
You know what's kind of throwing me off here
Whoops.
is yeah, there's a lot of motherfuckers on screen. Like, this is impressive for the hardware for the time to be able to do all this and have it all function. But what's also interesting is, mechanically, we can see how much they've learned along the way, right? Between us playing Captain Commando to Final Fight to, the more robust mechanics of Knights of the Round and King of the Dragons, right? We're able to look at this, like you said, there's actual inputs. And, we just came off Knights of the Round, and obviously they were like, hey, the horse thing is a good idea. That works. Let's keep doing that. Right. And we're having more interactables, but it's like, oh my goodness, this is so many enemies on screen. But I also have a ton of fight control available to me now, too.
Yeah. So
Right. So I can see the connection to the Muso idea. Like, what if we took this and made it 3D? No. Right. Like, what if we had 500 guys on screen instead of just this? And of course, like, wait, let me think. The first Dynasty Warriors was a fighting game, wasn't it?
it was a fun game, correct?
Right? And
They don't
Capcom
count in the
was
US.
running that. Capcom was running fighting games at that point. So it would not surprise me if this game, them doing this, inspired them to take Dynasty Warriors in that opposite direction and go, you know what, let's just make this a huge fight, 30,000 people at the same time.
Instead of just a side-scrolling beat 'em up, let's just go all the way and let's trim China.
Like, I was just,
Shooter's not here yet.
down a bit.
So, like, for example, like if I do down and jump and I have a little like a clothesline, that's different, right? And I think every character was slightly different in this game, which was pretty interesting.
Mhm.
Kind of weird. I don't like. For example, this is my down up attack. It's a flying elbow drop, Randy Macho Man style.
He didn't even come out with a weapon. He just got his fucking hands. Why weren't you using him, Ace? I am so disappointed. You pulled out the bow and arrow. Look, he's all hands, right? They're rated E for everybody. Literally.
Ace wants.
Oh my god.
Kassar is the one that Ace wants. Boom! Look at that. He's talking.
It's like, why didn't I pick him? I actually wanted to go for something different. Besides, if I had picked him, we'd probably be on this game a lot longer than we are tonight.
You're like, nope, I have that one under control.
Oh, he's got a dashing headbutt. That's cool.
This also feels way less punishing to the player, right? Like they started to get into the mindset of actually, we want you to be able to have a little fun here too, while you're here, instead of give us your quarter, you sloppy bitch.
Oh, it's still very much a give us your quarters, you sloppy bitch, but now they're making it so that you actually want to.
It's there's a fun factor to it, experience. Let me see if I can use. This guy's a flying like elbow drop or something, or yeah, there you go, like a corn dog move, or like all that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, yep, there's more blood.
Yep. And this one has items for us to pick up, so we're evolving from that as well. They're like combining all the things we're talking about as we progress through the games.
And that's really I really feel like that's the best part of playing through all the games in this bundle in the order that we are, because we're seeing that evolution.
Yeah, and I think they're chronologically, like, the longer the more we go, the longer they are. Like, they're newer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, in Final Fight, we were already getting like stage 3, stage 4.
Yeah. This is actually a longer. Yeah, we're only on stage 2, right? There's just more enemies on the screen. There's like look at the life bar of the boss, like it's super long. throwing bombs at you?
What in the name of cow is happening here? You had one job, not to pursue Lubu. Like, yet, here we are. Like, Jesus.
All right, there we go. All right, there we go. So some questions here. Let's see here. So Ace, do you think that this is a tech worthy game? You think you could make a tech episode out of this game specifically?
I think I could.
All right. Well, now you now have access to it. Oh look, bonus stages. Let's go. These are fun. Gotta eat. I'm the one.
Pound what button? What button do I pound?
I'm assuming it's just like attack. Ace is hungry.
Okay, there we go.
Oh no, that's
Just inhaled that whole plate.
all right. I think that's a good way to end this game here. But yeah, it's kind of funny that we ended up on that because remember like the Simpsons, how they had like the bonus stages in between. That's pretty fun. That's another beat 'em up that hopefully we gets released by Fox or Konami since they're
Crossed.
to do it. So all right,
Konami beat 'em up bundle with like the Simpsons and
Konami beat 'em up bundle.
Brother.
What's the like Ultra Beast one? A Metamorphic Force.
Yeah,
sounds really cool. Oh man. All right. Well, we're gonna crank it up a little bit and go mecha instead of muscles and Muso. All right. Period 6 is Armored Warriors. We're gonna be doing mechs, mayhem, and of course Ace's favorite, modular hands. Tell us a little bit more about this game.
yes.
Modular hands.
So, for the folks that played Marvel vs. Capcom, there were 2 specific Capcom characters. No, 3 Capcom classic characters that were introduced to the roster that became legendary fighting game characters in and of themselves. Those being Capcom, or Captain Commando, Hiryu from the Strider series, and the loudmouth mech pilot Jin Saotome. Jin's first game is what we're getting ready to put up here on the screen right now. So let me go ahead and get those invites out.
While he's doing that, this is basically mecha combat and weapon variety at its beat 'em up peak. Armored Warrior stands out because it brings big robot energy into the beat 'em up formula, as we haven't seen a lot of that, to be honest with you, and is one of the games highlighted as previously unavailable on home consoles before this collection. That's very interesting.
That's correct. There were like pretty much the only way you could play this in the States was either arcade or emulation. Yeah, actually, Brian pretty much tagged it right there. This is basically Armored Core, the beat 'em up.
Works for me. Oh,
Old.
you're like, don't you hate Armored Core? I'm not opposed to the idea. I just don't like that one.
And I think this is when, like, look at the art, look at the jump in art quality here, guys. Like,
It's huge.
Yeah, like Capcom was like getting it. They were definitely advancing on their technology and in their talent, right? Like this is a huge jump of Warriors of Fate to what we're looking at now. It's insane. Oh, it even has the Aliens versus Predator font. I love it.
I was going to say that's immediately what it reminded me of. It looks like AVP.
Yeah, this is the same era, minus the licensing. That man died.
Yeah, it's like even though we are in big mechs, you will still take on people who are on foot,
That man
and
dead.
it does
That shit
not
is
work out
rude.
well for them at all.
Yeah, this is so cool from what I remember. Isn't it interesting, chat, how most of these are 3 players? Like, was that like the key, like to get $1.50 from each machine, each player?
It's like that's exactly how we're gonna break even. Like,
Right.
brilliant.
But now, take note. Some of these enemies, like this one up here with the drill arm, you can get that arm.
No.
Armored Core.
Look at me. Look at me.
Look at you. Neat.
Oliver's mech, his main attack is punching the nuts, it looks like.
Yeah, it's just punching him in the dick. Like, which is fine. Just it's unexpected.
Robot jocks. Oh, have you brought that to up on your show?
I haven't.
On a homie homework? Robot jocks?
I haven't.
Not yet.
Thought about it. Will only last for 20 seconds, huh?
Also, can we
Cyber sleazes.
that guy looks
That's when
really
we start
cool.
calling people on the internet. You fucking cyber sleaze. Oh, these poor bastards on the ground. Bad things are
Yep.
gonna happen. Oh, this is absurd.
Yep. Oh my, look at the things on the screen.
Oh my goodness.
Everything is just going very wrong for these guys.
What do you do? A Mega Crush? Is that what it is?
No, that's just me moving. I'm just hitting buttons.
Oh,
I'm just hitting square and driving.
That was aggressive.
That was
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it was,
you were in the mech. Oh wow.
yeah. No, we were doing that.
Yeah, you brought him down to like 60% health.
That was a very, very long 20 seconds. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Look,
Man,
Hello.
this guys, when we ever watch, when I stream, I always complain, not complain, but talk about like
no.
I want high people artwork,
Demolish.
right, on my video games, and this is what I mean. This is the stuff where I like grew up on, where I was like, this is the best sprite work you'll ever see. Look at the animations, the frames on each of these, like pixel like keyframing, right?
Mhm.
My goodness, like that is, to me, I don't need 3D graphics with lighting like this. I'm okay with this. That's just me. That's my flavor. That's my taste. So let's see here. All right. Now, question for you guys: does adding mechs change the feel of a brawler?
Actually, yes, it does. I really feel like it does because, well, again, you've got the sense of scale between the mechs, which you think of as like normal sized characters, but then you actually see the people on foot, and it's like, oh, they even took count of how many people we crushed.
It's just the worst.
Gameplay.
It does feel different because they clearly it's about meeting expectations, and of course, I mean, Japan love their mecha, right? And they expect you to be able to move like one, right? If it just felt like you were just playing a dude in armor, right? It wouldn't be the same. Look, I just got done playing as a baby in a mecha suit. I can tell you that the two things play very differently here, right? You are primarily in a machine. I'm kind of scared. I'm afraid if maybe we could get snatched out of our own suits with the way that we've been snatching other people up here, and I'm like, I don't know, right? Like, look at this lady. She's pissed.
That sounds like a quarter eating boss move. That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
Horrifying.
Yeah, it sounds aggressive.
See, look, we just killed another guy. Like, they got to stop this. This is just rude.
I think what would be cool, like, and keep in mind this is like,
And you see, I just got the drill arm. I literally just got it knocked off of me
yeah, you
and
lost.
snatched up another.
Oh, look at that! I got the
Oh,
claw.
a little grabby hand. All
The
right.
claw's gonna get you.
The peachers. Like, yeah, okay. I can jive with. Oh my god.
Oh, and it changes your gameplay, right?
Yes.
It does.
Your moveset changed a little. That's pretty cool. Which actually brings us to the next question: is customization and weapon swapping the secret sauce? You think? This is different than the other ones we've played. Man, that might have died.
Oh, here we go.
I do believe that customization is a huge component, and it's not even brawling. That's just period in games. I mean, we just got done talking about Cyber Wars, right? We were talking about that recently, and it's one of the best baseball games I've ever played. I don't even like baseball, right? But that game, or not Cyber Wars, sorry, Base Wars, right? Sitting down and armored coring the hell out of baseball, right? And next thing you know, you're like, hey, I'm going to steal a base. So you ain't stealing shit. You about to fight for that base, and it's going to turn into a brawl
Yeah.
like you've never seen. But customizing your teams, that's what makes that so special. It adds that little flavor. This is a slight detour here, but it's coming back to this main point. Most people know I don't care for most first person shooters. And it's not that I have a problem with playing in first person. It's just that people don't tend to innovate a lot in that space. And that bothered me. But
Mm.
for the first time I really found a first person shooter I really, really, really liked was Borderlands. The first Borderlands. And
Yeah.
it turns out if you just added that looting component to it, it felt more purposeful and more meaningful to me. And I started having a ton of fun. Right, to have that appreciable difference in, oh, I'm using this higher level gun and I've learned these skills and I can shoot faster and I can reload quicker and all that.
Yeah.
We're getting similar things happening here. I mean, come on. I have tank treads, okay? For no reason. It's brilliant.
Well, there's a lot of different mechs. I thought there was only like 3. It's cool. Yeah, and then there's character variety also, which is pretty interesting, right?
It's so great. You can call me Scooter now. The gameplay is different. It's varied. Like, look at all the extra effects that we have, right? We've got screen shaking going on. Like, they're really wanting to immerse us in this
Yeah, you
as
get
much as possible.
you get like the smoke coming out when you move around from your treads. That's really cool. Also, when you said Cyber Wars, but you're close. It is Base Wars. You're right, but there's a little like pre-title to that, the Cyber Stadium series. So that's probably what.
That's true. Yes.
So it's interesting. Which means that they could have been like Cyber Wars football or soccer. Would have been super interesting, right? Okay. All right. So, any more questions here before we go to our most wackiest game? So if you were gonna put a mecha into a beat 'em up, which mecha would you put into a beat 'em up?
Into a beat 'em up.
Mm-hmm. I think to me, I'll start it off. Power Rangers would be a great beat 'em up, where you be a beat 'em up as the Power Ranger, and then you eventually become a beat 'em up also as the Zord.
We already got that on the Super Nintendo, though, didn't we?
But not in the Zord, though. Not in Zord form.
Did we get that with the just
Rita's
recently? Because I remember the Super Nintendo game you're talking about.
There was a fighting game on. There was a fighting game with the Zords, right? But not a beat 'em up. There was a beat 'em up of the characters. Yes, there's 2 of them: the movie and the standard one. And then they then released the fighting game, which is only the Zords, right? But they never had the beat 'em up with the Zords.
But what you call it? Power Rangers, Rita's Rewind.
Oh, I've never played that yet, so I don't know.
Yes, I was gonna say. I was like, I could have swore one actually came out that did fulfill the conditions. Like, but it's really recent.
You can do a beat 'em up with the Zords in there.
I think there's. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of Zord stages.
Okay, because usually when they go Zord, it turns into a fighting game. So
true.
So I have no say.
And I mean, although, well, let's see. In a way, it's already been done with Gundam multiple times. With the Gundam Muso games and Gundam Breaker as well. But let's see, if there was a mech that I was going to actually, that I wanted to see in a beat 'em up.
All right, here, our comfort said it on the screen.
Oh yes, we call that Transformers Devastation.
True. But hey,
no, you know what?
Players.
You know what? Fuck it. I got 2 that I can think of right off the bat. 1, Voltron.
Got him.
There you go.
2, Guy Melifs in Escaflowne.
Okay, I can get behind that too. That's great. Fantastic. Good choice. How about you, Oliver? Got anything on there that you want to see in action?
For brawling.
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, really? No. Like, I mean, you really already said it with Power Rangers. I mean, come on, that's what we came up on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, right? That and Voltron, those really do actually kind of lock it down for me. Like, Mecha is harder for me. Now, you know what? I got one. I'll just shoot it. Pow! Let's shoot from left field. Right? No, I'll toss my two, and I'll say Pat Labor and
Mm.
Dominion Tank, please, because now I'm really fucking weird.
Don't Masamune
wait.
Shiro's work. I'm okay with that.
Okay, look, if you're looking for Dominion Tank Police, Oliver, on Steam, if you haven't seen this yet, look for a game called The Scramble Vice.
Oh dear, here we go.
And
I would
thank me.
say for Pat Labor, I would love to see like a Cybernator version.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Oh, you're not kidding. Just eyeballing this, like, no, that's okay.
Can you
All
pop
right, yeah.
pop that link on the chat, Ace? I'd like to see that too.
One sec, I will pull it up.
All right. So we'll get to our last game here of the show, the craziest one. They call it the extra credit in weird. That's right. We're referring to a game called Battle Circuit. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I really had no freaking clue what this game is. I actually played this game like a month ago on this same collection, and I was like, what in the crackhead is happening in this game? Because I thought if you thought Captain Commando was weird, brother, you have not seen anything yet. Because Battle Circuit is late era arcade creativity, man. Battle Circuit is one of the bundle's strangest and most stylish picks, full of bizarre characters and colorful late arcade energy. Now, like Armored Warriors, it was noted as one of the games previously unavailable on home consoles before this collection. It's almost as if these late arcade brawlers were not meant for the home port, probably due to their size and capability, or maybe the scene was just changing, right? So yeah, let's check this out.
Also, this one's 4-player.
Whoa!
And here's what's wacky. So this is the old or the most recent of all the games in this collection. So this game came out in '97. But here's the big joke. Just like how Dynasty Warriors started off as a fighting game, this one goes even further out in left field. Battle Circuit was developed as a racing game. It was completed. They finished it. they just didn't put it out. They're like, nah. And then they started all over. We ended up here. You're like, what? You're like, that seems kind of sus. But no, it's just one of those weird things. And they said that it's structurally very similar to Final Fight and Captain Commando.
The artwork on it is just insane right now.
That bitch is on an ostrich. I'm sold.
Mhm.
I'm like, you know what? Never mind. I don't even care. I'm like, oh, she on an ostrich. I just played the weird ones tonight. And you're like, what'd you do? I was a baby and a little girl on an ostrich. You're like, are you serious?
I don't know if you guys know this, but like the story in this game is you're bounty hunters, basically paid to do jobs, and the whole point of the game is you're chasing this guy down, which is like the typical
Crack
villain
that
character.
neocortex.
Yeah, or the leader from Marvel, right? But like this game's got comedy, like it's pretty hilarious looking. It's got some comedy behind it. Look at that Looney Tunes like boss over here.
You don't punch that ostrich.
And you got more system mechanics in an arcade brawler.
Now, what's really funny is I just got a trophy for playing this. They're like, nope, you played every game with somebody online. Like, that's cute.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of charming. Like, yeah. Doc Saturn. This isn't even a fucking stage. That was a room, and then we fought a guy from Captain Planet.
This is a prologue. Yep. 9696X.
Yeah. Get my money ready.
Sure did. You better have my money.
Look
like,
at this
whoa.
man.
What's funny is this did release in Europe, though. Which is, it's kind of weird. Like, no, it's one of those things. Like, they said it was a very fast translation. That's a big fucking head. What the hell? His head is huge. I just didn't notice. I mean, I'm on a fucking pink ostrich, so there's a reason I didn't notice. I was kind of distracted. No, they said the translation on this was very, very fast. So it released like basically at the same time.
which is still
And I just don't know why it didn't come out stateside. I mean, well, no, because of the guy's big head. I mean, look at this guy and tell me you're not looking at an isekai of Mega Man.
Oh yeah,
that
1,000%.
sounds about right.
1,000%. I think he's got a little like evil man mustache too. Oh, also
Select your
you could
In
buy
between stages?
more moves.
Yep. In between stages,
Sure
you can
can.
actually purchase new moves and upgrade the ones that you currently have.
Interesting. We were talking about upgrading. So how do they change
Fever in the Disco.
the next level? Those look like like Teletubbies back there.
Oh
But, like,
my god!
if they were-
Why y'all look
But
like
if they were
that?
in JoJo,
That's
you
so
shoot a
weird.
missile out of that.
I
ostrich?
love it. I think I did.
Oh, you got a bow, and the ostrich just has one eye. That's crazy. So, with that said, the question comes up: is which character design do you think in this game Capcom just said yes to everything?
That would be
Well, look,
Okay,
Yellow
guys,
Beak.
look at the background. See any Easter eggs back there?
I was looking back there, and it's like, look, we got the lady with the fro. We got two fro guys
We
back
got
there.
Bison.
We got
Yep, that's that homage to Bison there, and I think like those are Hagar's pants and glove.
Yep.
In Final Fight 3 or 2, right?
Mhm.
He's just missing the suspenders. Death blow.
what's that? Oh my word!
Dude, there's a lot happening in this game.
Delete everybody. They all gotta
Barrels. It's
go.
always barrels. Barrels or crates.
Ow.
I'm playing a fucking ostrich. What? That's a big ass apple.
Chat,
What
how
the
are you guys
hell?
feeling about Battle Circuit chat?
Now, again, this
I'm not even mad.
like I mentioned that
amazing.
this is one of the games that I have the most experience with because just like with Armored Warriors, I've been spending a lot of time emulating arcade shit. So I ran across this, and yeah, we're fighting Elvis.
Yeah, no, that's Elvis. Yeah,
Space.
that's fine. It's fine actually.
Space.
yeah. I'm shocked. I'm horrified and intrigued. This game has taken me on an emotional roller coaster.
That this character is. I'm pretty sure this character is in the Capcom character encyclopedia that I have.
Oh, he's in there somewhere. I'm sure. of it.
Somewhere. Man, was this technically? Let's remove AVP. Let's remove the Punisher, big pun. Let's remove caddies and dinos. Right? Is this the last Capcom brawler before they moved out of the arcade scene?
Yeah.
You're telling me they ended on Battle Circuit?
This was their last hurrah for before moving to home consoles. And
Product of its time. Product of its time. That's all I gotta say. And here's the thing too. Like I'm so low maintenance, guys. That like I would love to see I sit around in this quality of sprite work, gameplay mechanic. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like I'm so easy, like to please me, right?
look at Elvis. Look at him laid out over there. He's fat.
I'm trying to figure the Shiva system. No, I guess
Yo, bring that disc to me. Oh man. So Captain Blue, is this like another take on like Captain Commando? Like
Yeah, Cyber Blue is pretty much a caricature of Captain Commando.
okay. I'm assuming the other guy's like Lieutenant Red or something like that because they're all colors. I know.
Yeah, there's
no.
There's Cyber Blue, Captain Red, Pink Ostrich, Alien Green, and Yellow Beast.
It wasn't there something. Okay, right. Yellow Beast. I remember that. And I think the character I picked when I played this game was Alien Green, which is the man-eating plant.
Mm-hmm. And you'll notice some of the animations they use for Alien Green were from Metal Warriors, from Armored Warriors. Because it's literally just like that plant is mech shaped.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and this is what I mean about like, hey, they just reuse the asset or Belgar, right? Stuff like that. Like, I get it. This is part of their encyclopedia, and this is what I mean, chat. When I say like on my streams, I say sometimes you have a whole library. Capcom has a whole library of things they can pull from. They don't need to get IPs; they have their own, like their own legacy to kind of to pull from.
I feel like the white Frozone right now. Yeah, I don't know. He just kind of looks like Frozone to me.
Like heat instead of like cold.
Like it's like they combined Plastic Man and Frozone, and I don't know what the hell.
I love how he runs with his like straight pointing.
But yeah, to answer that question, yeah, this is in fact actually one of the last beat 'em ups they ever released.
Yep.
So you just went all the way for absolute fucking stupid. It was what we did here. Like, you know what? Just throw everything at it. It's kind of like when they go, "Oh, we doing a potluck. Let's get silly."
Beat
your ass.
I honestly feel like they had all these like thoughts in like that shouldn't have been made. And they're like, all right, well, what do we got to lose? Let's just make it. Like here it is. And don't get me wrong, it feels good to play. Like it just feels like a good Capcom beat 'em up. It's just aesthetically different. That's all I gotta say with that. Especially with all the bangers they've been releasing, like the Punisher, AVP.
Very much so.
So and it's unique, that's for sure. So
oh, there's boobies. Wow.
Yeah, these are the ladies. And
there's boobies and ass cracks. My
goodness. On the Akira bikes.
Good God. What the hell?
Why
is my ass sticking out like that?
Here we go.
It became a shooter.
Everything got weird really fast. Oh no, I'm having Battletoads flashbacks.
Yeah, but I think this one's technically a bonus stage. Like you're supposed to get level 1-ups on this one.
Oh, I certainly hope so. Because seriously, why is my ass sticking out that far?
You know what? I'm gonna say it's due to it makes you go faster.
he's
aerodynamics.
Ass. Oh, they're really gonna make. Yep.
You know what? All we need to do now is just have them playing the music from the street race with Johnny and Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
I could have prepped that for you guys.
Grab coins. Oh, yeeted.
All right.
Why do you have a squirrel? Oh no, we're getting beat up by hot chicks again. It keeps happening.
That looks like.
Oh, please stop.
That looks like a. Do you remember Oni from Saturday Night Slam Masters?
Mm-hmm.
Like female version of that.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Man.
Oh, what was the name of that? What was that? Oh, wow. You know what? You just mentioning that, just mentioning Saturday Night Slam Masters, makes me think about not pro wrestling on the Nintendo, but WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Back when Honky Tonk Man was a name that you could still say. It wasn't a crime yet.
And what was the other character? Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That was like my era. That was really cool.
Oh. I feel like I'm starting to see why they moved away from the genre. From the brawler. It does feel like they were running out of ideas and they were just kind of throwing weird shit out there. But and I say this with affection, I understand why you might be doing that, right? Because in this time, Street Fighter 3 is going to come out and they're going to do something revolutionary on that arcade board, right?
Oh,
Where,
yeah.
right, like, so some of the younger cats might not know how intimately tied together brawlers and beat 'em ups are because of Capcom in
Yeah.
this way. And, the fact that when you play Street Fighter 3 and you're fighting Gil, right? When you're in Third Strike, the mere fact that they're like, oh, this is such an advanced board. It's like, what can you do? It's like, well, depending on what side of the screen this guy is on, he has an entirely different move set. And you're like, what? It's like, oh yeah, if his blue side is pointed towards pointed towards you, then he's doing ice stuff, and if the red side is pointed towards you, he's doing fire stuff, and that's why he's literally red and blue on
Real
each side.
Mystic type of shit.
And this was incredible technology for its time.
Yeah.
So the kind of point is that Capcom spent a lot of time like working on arcade hardware in a really meaningful way. And when you look at their brawlers, you look at their beat 'em ups, you can tell Capcom has always historically loved testing new ideas. As I said way back at the beginning of this episode, they are genre makers and genre definers. That's literally what they do. So while half of these games were kind of silly and kind of crazy, a lot of times this was them figuring out what they could do and seeing what they could get away with. Almost not a single one of these games played exactly the same, right? From the same company in a very short period of time. We played 7 games that came out in a period of 6 years. Like, whoa, like when you think about that, look, you know what just came out in early release that I've been playing on stream? I've been playing Sorrows, okay? And that's by Housemarque. They came out with they had released Returnal as a launch title for the PS5. I don't know what the fuck else they've put out between those 2 games. Capcom put out these 7 games in 6 years in the same time period.
Yeah.
They went bananas. And this is just what they are allowed to release in this bundle.
And
We
what's
still
more is
have
that,
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs and AVP and all that. Go ahead, Ace.
each of these games, like you said, they came out in such a short span of time, but each of these games plays so robustly different from each other. Like you can't sit down and play Final Fight and then jump over to like King of Dragons and say it's just the same kind of, it's just the same kind of button mashing. No.
Right, because each game has a different set of priorities that you're really worried about. Even though it's all about beating someone's ass, it's how you're going about doing it that really, really matters, and it's different. They're not just cheap palette swaps of each other. They have different timing. They have different. Again, there was tons of power ups in this. There were tons of power ups in Battle Wars. We were swapping out body parts and shit. I was like, wait, why do I have wheels? Why do I have tank treads now? Fuck it, and then just ran with it, right? They really tried different stuff. This isn't like development we see these days where people do asset flips. We can confidently look at this and go, yeah, most of these have very little recycle assets.
Yeah.
And they were still doing so much more in this time. That's the thing that kind of always just blows my mind. This is 6 games out of one company or 7 games out of one company in 6 years. And they're still putting out Street Fighter games during this time.
Yeah.
They're still putting out things
games. Yeah.
right, side scrollers. They're still putting out Mega Man games right now. In this same time period, they're still putting out things like Demon's Crest. Right? We're still getting our ass whooped by ghosts and goblins and ghouls and ghosts, and it's like, oh my goodness, you are prolific.
Marvel superheroes wore the gems. The Disney games they were putting out.
Getting our shit whooped on by Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. DuckTales was happening, man.
Between 90 and 97, Capcom was gaming.
They were gaming.
This beat 'em up is a great example of showing you the legacy of Capcom's beat 'em up history. We have literally played from Final Fight all the way to Battle Circuit, and look how it's evolved from when we started to where it ended, right? And there's a lot of in between. Absolutely. And that's what's so great about this company and this like their legacy of this, John. What were you gonna
Oh, and
say?
I mean, and in the midst of all this, they were still putting out RPGs too. Don't forget Breath of Fire.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
cooking. They were cooking.
They knew what they were doing.
Every conceivable major genre that a game could be developed for over the course of the 90s. Capcom had a hand in it, and Capcom had a banger in it.
Yeah, they were a household name in gaming. That little jingle you see with the Capcom, that's a thing, Or Capcom Presents. We all know that one. Capcom Presents, right?
God only knows how many versions of Street Fighter 2 happened in this same time period. Right? We got all the way up to Super Street Fighter 2, the new challengers.
Yeah.
You're like, there's Fei Long, and this Bruce
I
Lee.
think they were like, this is the bridge to 3, right? We were like basically about to jump to 3 on this one. So, but yeah, man, this is the Capcom beat 'em up bundle. It's awesome, as you can see. Got a lot of good games. It's on sale now. But the question, while we're ending, closing out the show for tonight, I'm gonna go right above me here with Ace first. Should Capcom make a beat 'em up bundle volume 2, and what game should be in it?
Yes, but it would take a whole hell of a lot because of licensing. Because that beat 'em up bundle 2 would need to include Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, The Punisher. Well, I know The Punisher was already added as a extra game in one of these.
The fighting game collection.
In the fighting game collection. But Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, The Punisher, and especially Alien vs. Predator.
Technically, Marvel owns Alien vs. Predator.
No, that's a good point.
Technically, yeah.
But of course, Capcom's no longer working with
Fox
Marvel.
Interactive is now owned by the Disney company. Yeah, the alien is a Disney princess.
Okay, I'm in, right? But yeah, it's really important that you mentioned the Punisher game. I don't know if our guy Ryan Comfort has ever played it, but no, it's really, really good. If you've never played that, just as part of that fighting game or that Marvel, Marvel vs. Capcom, all that stuff. Yeah, no, I'm like, why did you include this here? It's like, no, because you're just trying to take advantage of the fact that, you're getting the Marvel license to re-release your Marvel games. This was a Marvel game. It is a smart move. It is an odd one though, right? But of course, it's really, really, really good, right? The fact that the one thing I remember about that stupid ass game, right? You're playing as Nick Fury and the Punisher out there beating ass, but every time you pick up a gun, blam! Just the fact that I had the classic card doing all that stuff. No, I loved that shit. I think that's probably one of the best brawlers that they've done, and I think no, that was a 1993 release. Yeah, that was a 93 release. So this is just what we played tonight. And to go, oh no, they still have a ton of other brawlers. But I'm going to be the odd man out and say the brawler never went away. The brawler evolved. And if they were to do a beat 'em up bundle 2, it would be games you wouldn't expect. It would be, let's put it right here, Beautiful Joe, Devil May Cry, Onimusha, right? And Chaos Legion.
Brilliant. Absolute cinema.
Right? It's like, yeah, what is Devil May Cry? It's still a fucking beat 'em up. They finally figured out how to get out of this 2D space, but we just call it character action. But the truth of it, the matter is, it's like, look at the ridiculousness that we just got done dealing with at the end there. Right? There's kind of a whole thing that actually happened there. We did get that beat 'em up. I mean, it's hard for me to look at Devil May Cry 3 and those early stages, right, where you're just kind of going through, never mind the traversing, but just how you're managing fight control, I think that's more the hallmark of the beat 'em up more than anything else. Is the entire thing is controlling a fight, right? You cannot win through brute force, right? Like if you just try to match all the enemies on screen, no, there's more of them. They're going to just beat you down through sheer numbers. That's why we had to have things like iframes, right, and give the player an opportunity to recover and all this other stuff. Because man, trying to develop a beat 'em up, you got to have that stuff. They will get you, right? But again, jump forward in time, and we still have games that still contain all the elements introduced in this.
Oh,
they're just not how we expected them to be.
Since you did mention it, though, one more game that would need to be added to Beat 'em Up Collection too.
Yeah,
you've missed a key title.
I'm certain I did.
God Hand.
Yes, of course. No, yeah, like no, it's not even a discussion. Yep, you're correct. Like that's it. You're like, oh yeah, fucking God Hand.
I'll tell you both, you guys now. You're both wrong.
Here we go.
There you go.
You're both wrong because I agree. God Hand needs to be there, 100%. That is the beat 'em up game. You customize your beat 'em up character, right? Disagree on Devil May Cry, has his own collection already. Chaos Legion, I agree. Okay. Final Fight Streetwise, don't want it there, but it belongs there, right? Don't want it, but it belongs there, right? You can't believe nobody said beat down Fists of Vengeance. That was the introduction to the 3D beat 'em up from Capcom. I guess nobody remembers that game.
I didn't say beat down Fist of Vengeance because it's called beat down Fist of Vengeance. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Actually, we're all wrong. All of us are wrong. We missed no, never mind. Wrong company. Wrong company. See,
Urban Rain.
No, I was gonna end up fucking saying. I was gonna say the Bouncer. No, that's Square. I completely forgot. Yeah, because they really tried. That's the key word. They really tried.
As you can see, the games progressively were not good during this era of the beat 'em up, Capcom's beat 'em up. Right? It's hard, and I would say ultimately, let's just not do a volume 2. Right? It's just not. Although, like, we get 5 of those games, but we only want to play 1 or 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I could argue and say, "Remember Me" is a beat 'em up. That should be in a bundle, right?
Yeah.
But it's good in its own. Like, it doesn't deserve. I think it needs merit to be its own game, not to be in part of a bundle. Like, right? Remember Me. So, yeah, and that's just interesting, right? Because the games got bigger. They're more 3D. They're just not as you can't beat them in 20 minutes. These games take hours now. So, yeah, that would be my call. No beat 'em up bundle. Matter of fact, I think they should do a shmup bundle, because there's other games in Capcom's life needs to be bundled together.
That's true. Gigawing,
dude. Varth, I love Varth. Nobody knows what Varth is, right?
Look, Vulgus, Varth, Gigawing 1 and 2, and Mars Matrix.
See, you're naming all these games that half of them I've never heard, and then people just need to know more about them. So put them in a bundle, just like this beat 'em up, right? And then you have the next generation, talk about it like 20 years later from now. But it should be a different set of guys making their own show, right? Talking about these games, exactly these games. So, all right. Before we close out, let me do the final bell for the show. But I do have this new awesome Gilgamesh laugh.
Oh dear God! No, do that again. That was good. It's actually really good.
I love that laugh. So, all right, final bell. I want to hear real quick on everyone's take, but final bell, built for the arcade, built for us. Beat 'em ups are simple on the surface, but that simplicity is the point. They are built around cooperation, timing, positioning, and chaos. You learn who shares resources. You learn who rushes ahead. You learn who understands the assignment. And sometimes the assignment is simple. And we like to echo this through our show, and of course, share it with your friends. Walk right, protect your squad, pick your moment, and when that boss starts flashing red, make sure you finish the lesson. Okay, Ace, why don't you go and close us out tonight? Because I feel like this is your home. This is your game.
Will do. So, with that said, that's going to do it for tonight's study hall class. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us for these last few hours as we just literally took a walk down the streets that Capcom paved. We came in looking for arcade chaos, and the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle gave us exactly that. Street fights, sword fights, robot fights, fantasy battles, and enough questionable food off the ground to violate every single portion of Metro City's health code.
Ain't that the truth?
But that's just the beauty of these games, though. I mean, they remind us that gaming, it doesn't always need a massive open world, a 90-hour campaign, or a skill tree with 12 different currencies. Sometimes all you need is a few friends, a health bar, a continue screen, and the confidence to say, let's run it back. On that note, this has been the April edition of the Gaming Academy Study Hall. Class may be dismissed, but the arcade's still open.
GG's, guys. I'll throw us out.
Mission complete.